Welcome to The Radiant Life with Tatiana. I am your host, and I'm obsessed with empowering you to live and create the best life possible. I'm a master mindset coach, breathwork facilitator, and a passionate little Latina who loves sharing the magic behind your subconscious mind and energetics. If you're looking to uplevel your mindset, learn all about spirituality and manifestation, and to be inspired in making a change to embody your best self, you are in the right place. My goal is for you to see and unlock your limitless potential, to have the tools to break free from the chains holding you back so you can create and live your most radiant life. I am so excited to have you here listening today. Now let's dive into today's episode. Hi, and welcome to the Radiant Life podcast. I am so excited to be here talking with you back on the mic. I feel this new sense of energy, on fireness to be recording podcast episodes. I had a little mini aha moment breakthrough like 2 weeks ago, and it had finally dawned on me like, duh, Tatiana, it's time to rewrite the rules and how I show up and how I do things because we've experienced change. And that's what this episode's going to be about, is just sharing what that moment was and what I'm making it mean and what I'm doing with it. And I hope it just lands because we all experience change and growth. And it's all about like, what are we going to do with that moving forward? Before I dive in, I'm going to preface, if you hear any scratches, whimpers, or squeaks, that is the puppy. And if you didn't know, a little life update, Evan and I got a pup at the end of January. He's 3.5 months old. His name is Whiskey, and we love him so, so much. And he's lying down right next to me because he loves being next to his mama at all times. And he's really good, but just in case you hear anything in this episode or any future ones, that's who it is. He's my sidekick. But let's dive in. So, obviously, most of you know I took a large step back in recording podcast episodes last year overall and was very not like me. But the last few months, I have just been going back and forth in my head with myself on wanting to show up back on here and recording episodes and showing back online. And then I wouldn't and didn't want to. It was just this like ping pong in my head. And I've still shown up sprinkled some things on like Instagram and TikTok, and I've been showing up consistently on YouTube, but it's just felt different, especially compared to podcast. And as I was driving to Sarasota with Evan 2 weeks ago, I had this little aha moment because I noticed that I had the same expectations and pressures to show up like I used to on here, which, if you know, I used to be like consistent as fuck. I would record and release a new episode like every week. And I loved it. I just think I was in flow. I was learning so much. I had so much to share. God just had me in a season to just give value and share and share and share. So then when I was thinking of coming back on here specifically, I would get really excited. But then I noticed myself also feeling resistance in my body because it felt too much for my nervous system. And I also felt this fear of, what if I don't have enough to share, to speak, or to teach on like I used to? You know, if you listen to podcasts, you know I would always say, I don't want to record just to record. I want to record when I have something valuable to say. And luckily, God, I feel like just kept flowing through me with valuable episodes every single week. But I don't know, like I obviously still want you to have that. But then I realized me sharing myself, my life, my experiences, a lesson, that in itself is valuable, right? We get to learn from each other. And I'm craving that. And I'm craving just sharing me with you. I just want to sit down and yap. I love that new little trend word. And this platform just feels so different than other platforms like Instagram and TikTok. I'm just showing pictures and a little bit of behind the scenes. YouTube, I get to just share my weekend life, really. My dad used to home video my sister and I my entire life. So I just view YouTube as like my little home video diary. But this just feels different. I feel like I get to just be more open and more vulnerable and just share more things with you. And I don't always want to feel like I'm putting this pressure and expectation on myself that it has to be related to mindset or business tips or relationship tips. Like if it comes with that, great, but there's more than that. There's more to me. And I want to release these pressures and expectations that I have to just always have like these step-by-step things for you to walk away with, because it doesn't always have to be that way. And it's just a way for us to connect, and you can learn just by me sharing a story. And I just had to come to terms with, like, I'm not the same. God has changed me so much this last year, taught me to slow down and be more still and be more flow and surrender. And I loved that, and I needed that, and I still need and crave that and want that in my life, because at one point I was operating with way too much do masculine energy and hit a little, burnout moment. And I also really miss sharing life and lessons and what I'm learning with you and just connecting with you. I was just making it too black or white or concrete in my head. I had this rule or belief that I was like, well, if I can't commit to weekly episodes, then I'm not going to do it at all. Ew. Why? Says who? That's not what it's about. This is my podcast. I make the rules. Like, why was I making that a rule? It would always break my heart when people were like, when are you coming back on the podcast? I miss hearing from you. And I was like, I don't know, because I don't know if I have enough valuable things to say or XYZ, just because I was in a season of me learning versus learning to share. And I remembered, why did I start this podcast? Why did I start social media? It was to share my journey with you, to connect with you, and to hopefully inspire you along the way with me being me and me doing the things I was doing in my life and what I was learning. And it's been a work in process. That's something I'm already aware about. When I got really deep into mindset coaching and learning everything I learned, I put this massive pressure and expectations on myself to always bring value in teaching and showing up as the coach. And because of that, it slowly had the Tatiana parts disappear. And I hate that, because there's so much more to me than being a mindset coach. So we're changing it. I'm here showing up as is. And I'm releasing these pressures and these expectations to show up a certain way or to show up how I used to. And I'm rewriting how I get to be me, how I get to share, how I get to balance recording podcasts, showing up on social media overall, balancing it with my life. And some months you may hear from me weekly, if not more. And others may be more quiet, and that's okay. Can I just let it be and be flow, right? We all go through these seasons in life. And in this season, I'm just learning how to come back online and on the podcast and sharing while I just take everything that I learned in the last year and implementing it into the things I still love and crave, and just making it look a little differently. Can you relate? I want you to ask yourself, what pressures or expectations are you putting on yourself? What rules and limitations? Why? Does it serve you? Can you let it go? What would happen if you did let it go and we rewrote the new rule? And what would that new rule be? What areas are you expecting yourself to show up the way you used to? Whether it's health and fitness, parenthood, your relationship, your career. Does it make sense? Are you even the same person now than you were in that season? Probably not, because you're meant to grow and evolve. So why are we expecting ourselves to show up the same way? I asked myself, I was thinking, I show up completely different in my health and fitness journey, right? I incorporate so many more walks, at-home workouts, Pilates that I never used to do. Why? Because I learned that I was enjoying it more, and it was sparking excitement and joy. So I'm going to go do that, and less of what I used to love, but I wasn't loving anymore. That wasn't the easiest to rewrite either. Clearly, change is pulling teeth for me a little bit. But how can I learn from that area of my life and rewriting the rules and just following my heart and what I enjoy more, and applying it here on the podcast, or how I show up in my business, or how I show up in other social media platforms? So let's do this together. Let's rewrite how we show up in this season. Let's give ourselves permission and grace, allowing us to let it look different and feel different and be different. Allow it to flow with how we're feeling, and letting our heart and intuition guide us versus our need to be perfect or in control. At least that's what I'm doing. And I hope with me sharing this with you, you relate, you feel like you're not alone. This is going to hold me accountable. I'm doing it with you. And I appreciate you being here because I missed you. I missed you too. So know that I do have more episodes to come. They're not all like I said, mindset, biz, relationship lessons. There's some lessons maybe, but on my personal life. Like for example, I'm going to be recording our wedding story because I owe that to you. Too many of you have been here, invested in my story and journey with Evan. And maybe you watched our vlogs, but you need to hear like the inside scoop, the narrative story of the wedding. So I'm going to spill all the tea. I'm going to create a wedding planning tips episode to share like all the things I wish I knew as a new bride when I was going into the wedding planning process, because I really think that will be really valuable. I have some other lessons and things that I want to share from the last year that I just went through that I was really just sitting on and waiting for God to give confirmation to speak on it. I have a few ideas of people to interview to share their stories. And maybe an episode with Evan sharing some updates or things. I don't know. I have to get permission on that just to make sure he feels comfortable sharing some things. And who knows? And maybe I'll create a puppy tips list. I don't know. I'm just going to, as life goes, I'm going to be sharing with you. Maybe I'll give some life update reports where I'll just share what I'm learning, what I'm reading, what I'm eating, what I'm obsessing over, what I'm recommending. Because I'm doing a lot on my spare time. And I don't know, I just want to share with you. Like I said, I just want to connect with you. Maybe the other social media platforms, maybe YouTube's not your jam, watching my vlogs, and that's okay. I know I have a whole separate family here, and I just want to catch up and connect back with you. So I'm here, I'm back, and I missed you. So I hope this resonates. I hope this gives you a moment to look at the areas of life that maybe you've changed in, you need to change, you need to rewrite the rules and expectations, and realize the puzzle piece doesn't match anymore and fit, because it's different and that's okay. And giving yourself permission to rewrite the rules and how you show up. And we can do it together. Well, thank you guys so much for being here, for listening. I loved and missed you. And I will see you in the next podcast episode. I hope you have the most radiant day ever. Bye. Thank you so much for tuning in today. If you enjoyed today's episode, please be sure to share it with me and write an Apple iTunes review so I can keep the good stuff coming your way. If you aren't already following me, you can find me on Instagram at Tatiana_Kuto. Make sure to tag me in any posts that you share. I love and appreciate you so much and cannot wait to connect with you in the next episode. In the meantime, go out and radiate your light into the world.